Ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight to another edition of NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 Featherlite Modified Series action. Doubleheader, as always, with this series on tap for your Tuesday night during this NASCAR offseason. It is the Appalachian 150 at the Martinsville Speedway, and then after this, we will be followed by a 100-lap race at the Levi Strauss Signature Speedway. So a couple of short tracks for the Modified Series. Both kind of shorter races. This one only 150 laps, and then again, the second race is 100 laps on a half-mile short track as well. So, two half-mile short tracks, two very different short tracks. This, of course, we know Martinsville will be a paperclip short track. Levi Strauss is like Pocono, but miniature. It's not 2.5 mile triangle, but a half-mile triangle. So, very interesting to see how this works. Again, no cautions, no pit stops for the modified series. We'll see how this race is going to go. We're going to start from the back in both races tonight like we did for the first set of races to start the season, trying to switch things up. We actually dominated both races in the doubleheader yesterday, and currently Joey Patterson, our driver, is on a 4-race win streak, winning each of the last 4 races. He has not finished outside the top 3 through the first 6 races of the season. Patrick Shadley, Davion West, welcome to the stream. First into the chat. And let's get this race underway here tonight and get this doubleheader started off strong. 22-car field is about to roar into turn 1 under the lights at Martinsville. Green flag is in the air. No practice or qualifying, and we'll have to see how that will play into effect as Joey Patterson immediately is going to take it to the bottom lane side by side into turn 3. Off the curbing at a bit of a bounce that time. Trying to get back into the gas, but he gains 2 spots on the opening lap. Chuck Spicer's going to try to cut down in front of him. Spicer looked like his car bottomed out off the exit of the corner. Either that or it might have been contact from cars further up ahead, which could have been the case. Spicer gets a little loose, and then he gets a shot from the inside by Patterson. Adding insult to injury for Chuck Spicer. Motorsport Games got. I didn't hear about that at all. Oh man, 3 wide into turn 1, and the bounce off the curb didn't help, and there was contact between Joey Patterson and Kelly Walker because of it. More contact, as you're going to see a lot of contact here today at Martinsville. That's the name of the game at this track. So contact with these open wheel cars can prove dangerous, as we all know. Patterson going to look to the outside into turn 3, but that was mainly just to arc the corner off so he could dive it off into the bottom and maybe be able to drive it in deep into turn 3. That was a setup corner to end up making that pass for 17. Another little bump and run. Patterson up to 16th. Let's see if Patterson can win 5 races in a row. Still only qualified on the pole once this season, though. Races last night that he won was at the Old Spice Speedway on the road course there. And then he also ended up getting a win in race 2 at New Hampshire. The first 2 races in this 4-race stretch that he won at as well would have been races 3 and 4. Took place last weekend on Sunday. Had a win at the Red Ball Raceway. As well as Rockingham. Bit of a block going on right now. Patterson's not able to make his way through. George Myers, these two have had a bit of a run-in over the last couple of races. Patterson going to try to arc it off the middle of the corner, get the drive off the exit, and try to dive underneath Patterson. It looks like he's underneath him to drive it in deep into the next corner into turn 3. Almost making contact, not quite. He's trying to race him clean. Regine Huddleston, welcome to the stream. Happy. Merry early Christmas to you, too. Yeah, happy Christmas. Hopefully you're having a merry off season as well. 22 car still in the race, 15 laps in though, still very early into race 1 of our doubleheader. The 4th time that Patterson's jumped off the curbing, very violent here at Martinsville. Especially with how light these modifieds are, it really throws them around. Looks like we got one car blowing an engine in the middle of turns 1 and 2. This might stack up the field. Patterson's going to go to the outside to try and miss. Diving down to the bottom, makes a couple of passes. Gets around the lap car who was able to get to the inside of the racetrack. And now Patterson's inside the top 10. So it didn't stall the leaders out necessarily, but it stalled some drivers out in the back half of the top 10 and then just outside the top 10 for Patterson now to quickly jump up to 10th place on just lap 17. He's got Darren Dempsey in the 190 just up in front of him for 9th place as well. Patterson within striking distance. He's going to try to go wide into turns 3 and 4, get the drive off. It's going to be a little harder maybe to do that with some of these faster cars. Might have to get a little bit closer. Bounce off the curb, definitely not going to help him there. He got really loose getting back to the gas as well. DB Forever 85, welcome to the stream. And welcome to the stream, to our first bot as well. And we're only 21 laps into Martinsville. That's not a good sign. Trying to drive it in deep on Dempsey, but Dempsey throws a late block. It was a clean one, though. Patterson trying to keep the pressure on to the inside into turn 1. He's going to bounce off the curb as he slides up the track. He does clear Dempsey, luckily, though. Dempsey is able to win the race back to the gas, and he's going to try to drive it in deep into turn 3, but he overdrives it. Up the track he goes. He might have caught the curbing himself, and Dempsey's in danger now of losing 10th place. Thanks for getting that, by the way, DB. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in race number 1 for about the next 8 laps. Another shot off the curb by Patterson. So hard not to hit it. Especially with how fast the mid-quarter speed is with these modifieds. Cup cars will be down to about 60 miles an hour, maybe a tad below that, give or take, really, around 60 miles an hour in the middle of the corner. But the modifieds are running about 75 to 78 miles an hour in the middle of the corners. Again, top-end speed isn't there. Top-end speed in the Cup car probably be between 120 and 130. Top-end speed for these modifieds, about 119 for Patterson before he got into the braking zone there. So about 10 to 11 miles an hour slower. Yeah, 670 package is confirmed. I thought it was already confirmed, but I guess it wasn't. Now it's officially confirmed today. I figured that press conference that Steve O'Donnell had last week where he said that he liked the direction they were going with the 670 package. I thought that pretty much guaranteed that they were going to run it. You would have hoped and thought, of course. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Michael Turner, welcome. Patterson's going to have to be on his A game tonight if he's going to win this. He is closing in on the leader slowly, and obviously he's still got 8 drivers per position between him and race leader. It's going to be tough. Martinsville's a tough place to pass, as you've seen already. He got lucky getting around 4 cars pretty easily because of somebody blowing an engine to the inside of the track. He anticipated it, went high, and cut to the bottom desperately to try to stay in the gas and be able to get underneath a couple other cars on corner entry, and he didn't get pinched off at all, so it worked out really to perfection. What Patterson was hoping for. Comes in with a pretty sizable lead after winning 4 races consecutively, and he has also led the points for 3 straight races. First 3 races he has, of course, led in points this year. The first 3 before that to start the season was by Danny Ross, who won the first 2 races of the year. Ross, though, is slipping back a bit. He's still second in points coming into race number 7 and 8 tonight, but he's well over 100 points back all of a sudden. And a lot of that is because Spicer got wins. Not only wins, they were max points days, and the 2 finishes in yesterday's races for Danny Ross were 10th and 12th. Go back to the far chase cam for now, lap 34. Brady Barnes is the next car for position up ahead of Patterson. I want to see your guys' comments down in the chat for how many wins in a row you think Joey Patterson's going to win. He's got a 4-race win streak currently. You think it comes to an end tonight? If so, what race? Or do you think it'll continue onwards for quite some time? Definitely the 16-race season to have a stretch of dominance like this is definitely going to help in a season-long championship to try and get it done. Still going to have to stay out of trouble. I don't think the streak of finishing top 3 is going to last the entire season. We had 2 finishes outside the top 10 in the last season, and we still clinched the championship 1 race early, so you'd have to think at some point we're going to slow down. Even Brady Barnes finished 12th in one of the last 2 races and slid back in points a bit. Just got underneath Barnes. He got lucky when he bounced off the curbing that time that he actually stayed relatively glued to the racetrack. Left side tires didn't pop off the ground as bad. And now we got another car blowing an engine on the inside of the racetrack. Heading towards the pit lane. It's the 82 car. Oh, a little bump and run now. Patterson up to 7th. I don't know if Richie Reed in the 191 checked up because of the car that had the blown engine or not, but he went a little bit wide and seemed like he got out of the gas a bit early. Patterson tagged the left rear, and he's able to clear Reed off the exit of turn 2. Turn 4 at the time. Yeah, 4-inch rear spoiler, too. Yeah, it's unfortunate, too, that Mars Incorporated is leaving Kyle Busch at the end of 2022. Leaving NASCAR in general, not just Kyle Busch. They've been in the sport for a really long time. Of course, we're with Robert Yates racing before they switched with Joe Gibbs racing when Kyle Busch jumped on board. Elliott Sadler, Ricky Rudd. And even before that, at 36 car, Ken Schrader, Ernie Irvin. And drove M&M paint schemes back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Definitely going to be sad. As a kid, I think every kid can attest to what I'm about to say, is that if you watch NASCAR, one of the first cars you ever notice was the M&M's car. For myself, whether it was a 36, 38. If I remember right, I'm pretty sure Ernie Irvin 36 M&M's car was one of the first die-casts I ever had. One of those, not a 124 scale, but the littler ones. I always forget what scales those are. I'm not good with remembering die-cast sizes. But anyway, that was one of the first ones I can vividly remember getting and where I was when I got it. It was birthday dinner at Spaghetti Warehouse, I think, in Toledo. think it was wherever we were. I remember we were going out to dinner, and it was for my birthday. And I remember that my parents gave me that while we were waiting for our food. Quickly took it out of the package and was playing with it on the table until the food came. And probably, I don't remember or not, this might be a little add-on to the story that might not be true, but I would imagine I was probably playing with it instead of eating my food, and my parents were probably upset with me. I could see that obviously happening as well. So we got another car up in smoke. It's 3 drivers have blown an engine in the first 50 laps, leaving just 19 cars on the racetrack. The last 2, though, have not been running ahead of Patterson for position. Patterson's only about a little less than 3.5 seconds off the lead now. Almost a third of the way through the race. Billy thinks I'm going to win 10 races in a row. That's insane. Even 7 races in a row would be insane. It's Davion's. Well, I guess you guys are going to have to hang on and remember those predictions for about a week or so, because I don't think we're getting that many races in here. 10-race win streak, that would take us to like 2 races to go. By the time we'd lose another race, which would coincidentally be right back at Watkins Glen, which was the last race we didn't win, so I guess that could make sense. Kind of stinks, though. Any finish really outside the top 2 would worsen our average finish from here on out. 50 laps in the books already in race 1 at Martinsville tonight. It's probably going to be one of the... Honestly, this is probably going to be the shortest doubleheader of the 8 live streams for the 16-race season on the channel. Both races are on short tracks and they're 150 miles or less. I should say traditional short tracks, half-mile short tracks, or less in length. I don't think we have another stretch like that this season where that's the case. But yeah, 14-race win streak is possible. Anything could happen in a full race. That's true. You want to talk about a streak, though. NASCAR 21 Ignition Career Mode. We got a terrible streak going on. Tune in tomorrow night. We're going to have the Pocono doubleheader. Back-to-back premieres. First one starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the highlights of Race 1 of the Pocono doubleheader. Race 2 will be at the bottom of the hour at 7:30. So they will be back-to-back. They'll both be right around a half hour in length. The one will end literally a couple minutes before the next one will end up taking place. Oh, one car gets loose. Getting into turn 3 and makes a great save. It's Junior McMillan in the 192 car. Did a great job keeping it off the wall. And he's going to go wide and likely let Patterson go as he tries to get his momentum back. Patterson not clear yet. Kind of pinches him off. Sure McMillan didn't appreciate that. Probably thought he was giving Patterson enough room. Off the curb. Bill Calhoun, the 149 car. Would imagine he's 4th position. Hard to tell for sure. Top 6 are all within 2 seconds of the race lead. Patterson in 6 is exactly 2 seconds off the lead, trying to get to the inside of Calhoun. He's there down the back straightaway. He'll drive it in deep and take over the 5th position into turn 3. Clears him in the middle of the corner, in fact. Next car up ahead of Patterson is lap car Chuck Spicer. That was like the curb shot me to the left that time instead of the right. I almost ate that tire barrier up the exit of turn 2. Quickly drives around Spicer with a tight gap. Yeah, the second person to say something about motorsport games being sued. That's actually problematic, though, if you think about it, even for video game players. I know a lot of people are like, well, that's what they deserve. But if you think about it, though, even if you're being selfish about it and only thinking about yourself and yourself playing future NASCAR games going forward for motorsport games, this puts them even more behind the 8 ball with finances. That whatever finances that they would have gotten or are getting from NASCAR 21 Ignition is going out the window with them losing a lot of money, which is only going to worsen the development of future games because they're not going to be able to pay everybody probably on. I would imagine that they're going to try their best to pay everybody what they would like to be paid. And it's just going to make a lot of people mad in the workplace. It's just not good economically. And it may make the next game just as expensive, if not more expensive, because they're trying to get more money back. People are going to be ticked if it's just as bad, if not worse, of a game, and they're selling it for more money to get money, but they need money because they lost a bunch of money now. It's just a huge situation that is just ugly. It is not good. And I think as NASCAR and NASCAR video game fans, we could just only hope for the best for everybody going forward. Joseph Then, welcome to the stream. Oh my gosh! Joey Patterson's life just flashed before his eyes off the exit of turn 2. He got loose again. Second time. That time he didn't hit the curb, though. Starting to get loose, getting back to the gas off the exit of the corner. He's going to have to be careful. I thought I was close to hitting that tire barrier the first time about 10 laps prior. That time was even closer. And he was cutting into that lead a bit, but now he's right back to about 2.2 seconds behind again. It was 1.7. You know, at this point, I think I'd be all right with EA. At least we know EA Sports has the funding. I guarantee they'd make a better game. I guarantee they'd at least make a better game than what NASCAR 21 Ignition was. Because, again, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, NASCAR 21 Ignition is the worst NASCAR video game I've ever played. I think it was worse. I've never played any of the Technics games, but I think it was worse than NASCAR Heat Evolution only because at least Heat Evolution, I can run even a full race. Even if I was just playing by myself and I didn't want to run full races, I could get from the start of the race to the end of the race with, there might be some glitches, but it's not going to hinder really where I finish for the most part. Every now and then it might, but it's not at like every race or very close to every race. Literally, if you get a caution, the scoring can get messed up, and that all of a sudden interferes with where you finish in the race, good or bad. It may help you because you might not get caught a lap down and everybody else does, or you might be the only one to lose a lap and everybody else doesn't. You never know. It doesn't matter whether you stay out or pit. I mean, that alone, not even counting any of the other glitches, is a problem. George Dennis is right in front of Joey Patterson right now. Patterson trying to make his way through. He's going to use the bumper. A little nudge and push. And he's up to fourth. Throwing a block down the backstretch. Dennis overdrives turn 3, trying to get back to Patterson. Patterson right back to 2 seconds even. Off the lead, halfway home. 75 laps down, 75 to go at Martinsville in race 1 of our doubleheader tonight. Well, exactly. Like, people talk, that also, Furfur Express kind of adds on to what I said to a T. That EA Sports is bad, but you can play Mad and get from the beginning of the game to the end of the game without the game crashing. You can get to the beginning of the game to the end of the game. Well, yeah, you might have a glitch. Somebody may drop a pass here and there. But overall, it's not going to affect the outcome of the game 9 times out of 10, it won't affect the outcome of the game. Where the glitches we're seeing in NASCAR 21 Ignition affect the outcome of the race. It affects the finish. It affects, sometimes you don't even get to the finish. Most of the situations in the career mode we've seen, I haven't even gotten to the finish of the races. We've had glitches because I DNF because of it. Whether it be running out of fuel with no telemetry, or the game black flagging me for something random that doesn't make any sense, for like somebody crashing me or something, or getting stuck on pit road, or it's just crazy. It's never the same thing, it seems like. Where Cadwell's in 3rd place. Patterson trying to run him down. 70 laps to go this time by. Pull our money together and sponsor Kyle. Kyle Busch. I thought I said Kyle Larson. Kyle Busch. Welcome to the stream. I think they'll find sponsorship, no problem. We know Interstate Batteries is coming back. They've already stated that. It's just a matter of how many races for them. Will they up their sponsorship to go a full season? Will they not? I mean, they used to sponsor full seasons for a long time. Really, up until Kyle Busch drove the 18 car, I'm pretty sure they sponsored full time for Joe Gibbs Racing, even when J.J. Yaley was in the car. So Patterson up to a race high 3rd place. And we'll loose off the exit of turn 4 again. Rod Hansen's the next car in front of him. Not sure if he's in 2nd or if he's a lap down. He's been struggling with this car. I've been seeing him slide around quite a bit too. It surfaced in 2004, very old for Martinsville. So that's not helping. 150 laps without being able to pit is not going to help these drivers either. A little contact off the curb. Patterson got squeezed really down to the curb. Not with the contact itself, but that's what led to the contact. The lap car of Hansen. And he lost about 0.3 of a second to the race leader because of it. I'd have to imagine those next 2 cars in front of him would be 1st and 2nd place. Ten people watching right now, only 5 likes. Smash the like button, subscribe if you are new for more daily NASCAR content. Realistic commentary with full race live streams on the daily. We got 2 races on a doubleheader Tuesday night for the Modified Series. Next race coming up on this very stream at the Levi Strauss Signature Speedway. That will be 100 laps. This is currently a 150 lap race at the Martinsville Speedway under the lights. And we're coming to lap 90, so this race is clicking by pretty quick, as does every race at the Modifieds because there's no cautions. And, of course, there's shorter race lengths on top of it. I think every race we've got done in less than 50 minutes so far this season through the first 6. This one will add on to it. Well, there's Danny Ross, 2nd place in points, running 2nd place with the points leader of Joey Patterson in 3rd place right behind him. Patterson gains a ton in turns 3 and 4 there. Ross is going to try to block as much as he possibly can. Patterson is soared through the field to get to this position. And he's going to drive it in deep into turn 3 because he's got the positioning underneath Ross on the bottom, and he clears him cleanly. Patterson charges to the front. 1 second off the race lead. Taking him a long time to get to this point. We got a car in the wall off the exit of turn 2. He was parked as the leaders are able to get around to the inside. He's still sitting there, and he'll likely still be sitting there in the smoke, paying attention as of right now. He has not moved from the outside of the racetrack. Oh no! And into the back of him goes Patterson. He had nowhere to go. Off the exit of the corner, he didn't slow down enough, and Patterson cleans him out. Heavy damage to the front of the 150. And championship implications are hanging in the balance. He knew he was there, and he still overdrove the corner. Missed him the first time by, but not the second. It'll fall back to 5th place, and he's back to about 4.7 seconds off the race lead. That's going to put Danny Ross back up to 2nd place. 4th place right in front of Patterson. Big block down into turn 1. Second time Patterson's been involved in an accident this season where there was a wreck in front of him that he had nowhere to go. The first one was in race 1 at the Dodge Raceway. That was his worst finish of the season. He had to survive the rest of the race with damage there. Finished 3rd, luckily. It was with only a few laps left in the race. And a little bump and run on George Dennis to get to 4th, who was holding him up. It's going to damage the nose of the car a little bit more. That's what it's like hitting a parked car at about 80 miles an hour. Got that guy going back in the right direction again. I don't know how many laps he was going to sit there for. I think he's still in the race because there's only 3 cars in the pit lane still, but he's obviously a couple laps down. It's the 187. I think it's Marvin Humphreys. I could be wrong. You're right, DB. That definitely was a hard hit. And Patterson's losing time to the race leader, and it's unfortunate. He was only 1 second off the lead in 2nd place when it happened. Maybe we get another accident in front of the leaders and takes out another car or two. It's going to be tough for Patterson to gain any more positions the rest of this race. And off the curb, that's not going to help either. Patterson pulling away from drivers for position behind him. Trying to make a quick pass into turn 3. Off the curbing, a little bit of contact. Pulls clear. That was on a lap car. I believe it was Rod Hansen again. Patterson able to hold the bottom lane. Stay in front. Patterson just going to keep digging. Not going to give up. Never know. Even if he doesn't win, maybe he's got a shot at 3rd place still. Every point matters. Multiple positions of increments between every position as well for points. Really trying to hug the bottom as close as he can without hitting the curbing. He did nudge the curbing that last corner. Didn't do it that time. He's down to about 4 seconds even. He is pushing extremely hard. Seems like there's a lot of clean air with the race leader, which is not going to help Patterson at all. Or even Danny Ross in 2nd. Well, we have our 3rd different winner of the season now. Patterson clips the curb again. Off the exit of turn 2. Elmer Cadwell is in 3rd place, so that is for position. He is the next car in front of Patterson. can alternate through the different camera angles one more time in our first race of the doubleheader tonight. Next race at Levi Strauss Signature Speedway will be in the daytime, this one under the lights. A lot of the night races have been at the beginning of the season. We had one at Rockingham, which is kind of unique because Rockingham doesn't have lights. Well, they might now. I really don't know. You know, back when it was in the Cup Series still, it didn't have lights. Trying to keep a low exit to the corner, which is a little easier with the car being a bit loose. Though I will say it has tightened up a tad, though, since the damage to the front of the car. It doesn't look visible, but it is definitely there on that damage indicator. So he's going to definitely have to watch making contact with the front of his race car as he drives it in deep into turn 3. Off the curbing, contact now with Elmer Cadwell to his outside. Still side by side for third. Patterson's going to go for the spot aggressively into the next corner. More contact as he uses up Cadwell to get to third place. He's only 2.5 seconds back, but only 36 to go at the line. And he is definitely running out of time fast. What a comeback this could potentially be. Still a lot of clean air in front of the race leader right now. Patterson, it is unbelievable. The laps that he is running. Just ran an 18.131 that last lap. His fastest lap of the race is an 18.036. He's definitely not as fast with the damage. But he's still putting together good lap times. Will it be good enough to have a shot at the win? He has not led a lap all race long. He has been as high as second, but he hasn't been within 1 second of the lead either. Another bounce off the curb. He's got to be wearing out those left side tires every time he hits the curb as well. There he goes again. That was a giant bounce that time. Struggling for grip down the backstretch. Trying to get that momentum back. And we'll go back to the far chase cam for the rest of the race. Got around Danny Ross pretty easily the first time through. I'm sure Ross is going to put up more of a fight this time around. I think lap traffic will become a factor. It's not right now, but by the end of this one, I'd have to imagine the leaders will catch more lap cars. Hopefully there's not another wreck. Patterson's 0 for 1 in wreck avoidance today. Sent it deep into turn 1. 30 to go. And I think we're setting up for a thrilling finish to race 1 of the doubleheader tonight. Another bounce off the curb. Ross is not really going to pull Patterson as much as I thought he would. You can definitely tell he's running more of a defensive line. It's not going to be enough, though. Patterson beats him to the gas off the exit of turn 4, and they are wheel to wheel. Into turn 1, Patterson trying to shove Ross. Well, I should say Ross is trying to shove Patterson. Patterson actually got the better end of it. I think him bouncing off the curb, ricocheting Ross out of the way was probably better for him as he's up to second. And he hit him with the right side of the car. That was all Ross for squeezing Patterson. Patterson's just lucky he got, the better end. They both lose a little bit of time, though, on the race leader with the contact. Still hasn't caught the lap traffic yet. 25 to go this time by. They haven't been close enough to the leader. I don't even know who it is tonight. No clue. Can't tell on the track map who it is. Bad graphics. Remember, it's a 3-digit number, and most of the modifieds are 3-digit numbers. Chuck Spicer is going to be the next lap car. He's already 1 lap down. It's Wayne Huckabee. The Nacho's car, and Huckabee makes a little contact with Spicer. It's going to hold him up a bit. Patterson off the curbing. Hopefully he can get around Spicer pretty quickly. Drives underneath him off the exit of turn 4. At least he's trying to. He'll get him in 1 and 2. Clean pass. Still hit the curb, though. But he clears him. 20 to go this time by. Trying to intimidate Huckabee. All Patterson did was get stacked up. Huckabee has dominated this race, but he's got Patterson closer in the rear view now than ever before. Patterson off the curb. Don't mash the nachos. Don't crumple the nachos. 18 to go this time by. Trying to intimidate Huckabee. Huckabee slides on corner entry, allowing Patterson to close the gap. Wiggles a bit off the exit of the corner, and Patterson's still there. Oh, he got really sideways that time. And again, though, it just stacks Patterson up. I don't think that's working out quite like Patterson would hope. It's only damaging the front of the car a little bit more every time. Danny Ross is right behind both of these guys. In 3rd place, wanting a shot for his 3rd win of the season. Patterson's having a tough time trying to get to the back bumper of Wayne Huckabee. Bounce off the curb for Patterson. That's not going to help. Still got time to get there. But he can't wait until the last second either. Another bounce off the curb. Hurting his corner exit speed. A little bit of a slide by Huckabee. Patterson closes off turn 4. 12 to go. Another bounce off the curb. That's not going to help Patterson. A slide. And a hit of the curb that time by Huckabee, and it still wasn't enough for Patterson to close. Patterson off the curb, and he overdrives turn 1. Running out of time now. It seems like he's hitting the curb, but he's not bouncing like Patterson is. 10 to go. We got a bit loose off the exit of turn 2. Lap car's right in front of Wayne Huckabee. Huckabee gets a bit loose. Hits the curb. Oh, he got loose! Off the exit of turn 2. Patterson to the outside. Oh, he couldn't get around him, though. Oh, lap car messed the corner up. Lap car's in the wall off the exit of turn 4. Huckabee trying to get by to the inside. Patterson's there. Can't get under him off the exit of turn 2. He's trying to use the lap car as a pick. He's going to drive it in deep into 3. But Huckabee is there, and he's going to beat the lap car to the bottom. 7 to go. Cerebral Assassin, welcome to the stream. You're just in time to the end of race 1 of our doubleheader. Patterson is there with 6 to go. Lap cars have held him up a bit. Big slide by Huckabee, but he hangs on to it. Patterson almost got around him. Huckabee got a bit loose, but Patterson's going to lose him a bit in 3 and 4 again. I think Huckabee's faster in clean air. With no traffic in front of him, he's a bit faster. As long as he doesn't get too loose. He did get loose, but then Patterson messed the corner up even more by hitting the curb. That was worse than Huckabee. Huckabee slides. He's just not hitting the curb as aggressively as what Patterson has been. Another bounce off the curb for Patterson. Man, I don't know. I think that damage to Patterson's race car is just enough. I don't think he's going to be able to even get a chance to get to his bumper. That's why he's trying to intimidate him. Keeps overdriving the corners. Again, he hit the curb in turns 1 and 2. Trying to get Huckabee into a mistake. Huckabee gets sideways again. Patterson closes. 2 to go. Another slide. Patterson off the curb, but he's still closed because Huckabee's mistake was even worse than what Patterson's was. Oh, here we go. White flag. Huckabee pulls Patterson that time. Patterson hasn't led a lap all race long. Oh, off the curb. Big mistake. He's going to send it into the final corner. Huckabee gets sideways. He got sideways up the exit of the corner, but Patterson ran into the back of him, and that's going to be it. Oh, man, he made a mistake in the final corner, but there was nowhere for Patterson to go but to stay in the gas, and he ran into the back of Huckabee. And Wayne Huckabee is going to win his first race of the season, and it comes under the lights at Martinsville. Patterson with a close second place, and he didn't get a lap let in at all either, unfortunately. Great comeback, though, after being involved in an accident. It could have been, obviously, a lot worse of a finish. And he'll still gain in the point standings just a tad with Danny Ross finishing behind him in third. Well, unless Ross led, which he did not. Wayne Huckabee led all 150 laps after starting on the pole. Domination from Huckabee, but it was still a close finish. Came down to the final corner on the final lap. Patterson from the rear to second. Danny Ross finishes third, started third. Elmer Cadwell started second, finished fourth. George Dennis rounds out the top 5. Bill Calhoun, 6th. Junior McMillan, 7th. Richie Reed, 8th. Brady Barnes, 9th. And Darren Dempsey rounds out the top 10. Yeah, but there goes the winning streak. Yeah, I came to an end abruptly. George Myers, last guy on the lead lap. Only 12 cars finished on the lead lap. And we had 3 drivers DNF all in the first 46 laps with engine failures. Randy Glover, Bruce Kennedy, and Paul Donnelly. Jeff McFarland was in the 187 car. He was the one that had spun and wrecked. Finished 2 laps down in 19th. Patterson had piled into him a lap after the fact. Don't go anywhere. We got another race coming for you on this stream. Again, 2 races for the Modified Series. That was only race 1. Next one will be 100 laps at the Levi Strauss Signature Speedway for the Steel Mill 100. We will be starting at the back with no practice or qualifying again for race 2. And again, like, share, and subscribe if you are new for more daily NASCAR content. Run that like button up, ladies and gentlemen. We have 7 likes on the stream now. It's probably going to be one of the shortest races of the season coming up right now. We have still seen a crash in at least once in every race so far this year, all 7. I don't think that's going to end in race 8 for the second race of this doubleheader. There we go, no practice, no qualifying. First trip to Levi Strauss Signature Speedway out of 2 this season. That was our first and only trip to Martinsville as well this year. Green flag is in the air. This is a very narrow racetrack. Even more narrow than I'd say Martinsville, only because it's a triangular shape. And most of the field is 2x2. It looks like some of them are even 3 wide into the first turn. I don't know what's going to happen here. Patterson would like to take his time, but this is 50 laps shorter than even the Martinsville race. I like how we accidentally got into him, ran him out of the way, and our crew chief's like, that's the way to do it. Oh, we just got into Huckabee, who's starting at the back as well. It's like there was an inversion of the first race. Oh, Huckabee using the bumper too. Patterson's just going to follow Wayne Huckabee into turn 3. Down on the bottom, and he's up to 20th. Ooh, a little contact up in the middle of the pack. Patterson, for the second straight race, is struggling to get by Huckabee. It's to his inside into turn 3. Slides the tires at corner entry a bit. Oh, one car loose right in front of Patterson with nowhere to go but to run into the back of him. It was Marvin Humphreys. Oh, and he about wrecked off of turn 2 again. What is going on with Marvin Humphreys? Stacking everybody up. Patterson's in the wall again, off 3. Humphreys has got loose 2 quarters in a row, and both times Patterson got stuck behind him and ran into him. And no cautions in the modified series. This whole season is just full of sprint races. Finally, Patterson gets by Huckabee. From 19th. He's got to go. Already 10 laps in. He's only gained 3 positions. And Patterson has the points lead. We'll be halfway through the season following the checkered flag of the second race in the doubleheader tonight. On the inside into turn 1, he'll make a clean pass for 18th. Passing Marvin Humphreys. All 22 cars still in the race to lap 12. Which also scares me considering we seem to have 2 to 3 engine failures every race. And everybody is under a blanket right now. First all the way back through 22nd. Spicer trying to make a pass in turn 1. He's going to open the door up for Patterson to get to the inside of George Myers, I believe. Making another pass as well on Bruce Kennedy. Oh, he got into Spicer. Spicer's in the wall off the exit of turn 1. Whoops. Front Jim Skills, welcome to the stream. Oh, contact off the exit of turn 1. 82 car of Kelly Walker. Contact. Randy Glover. Squeeze Jeff McFarland. Spicer makes a little bit more contact. Spicer's inside of Glover now. In the 163 Old Spice car. Oh, jeez. Patterson overdrove the corner right into the side of Jeff McFarland. This is mini Pocono. Can you imagine a half-mile triangle track like this? I feel like with how narrow it is, crashes would just probably be the hardest impacts you'll see in our short track. There's no safer barrier on these walls either. Making it worse. There's a big stack up off the exit of turn 2. Patterson gunned it and passed about 3 cars to get up to 9th place. That's going to help him save some time. Oh, there's more contact off the exit of turn 1. They're making contact again in turn 2. Those two do not like each other. They keep making contact with one another. Patterson keeps getting squeezed by Junior McMillan in the 192. Big dive into turn 2. Patterson on the inside, and he'll make a pass for 8th. Clears McMillan. Cadwell trying to hold on for a position. Patterson now to 7th into turn 3. It was a great lap. Really 2 straight great laps. Actually, there were 2 fastest laps of the race. 16.405 and then a 16.404. Not only great laps, but they were his best laps. You hit the wall, you're dead meat. Yeah, no barrier, especially these angles. I mean, we're still, look at the speeds. On the bottom right-hand corner of the speed, we're not going slower than 118 miles an hour. These cars are hauling around this racetrack. Leaders are all under a blanket right now, too. It's going to make this battle for the lead even more aggressive. And speaking of battle for the lead aggressive, they're side by side through 1 into 2. We have a new leader into turn 3. Patterson's just driving by a bunch of cars. He passed 3 cars that lap from 6th to 3rd. Took him 10 laps to get through the first 3 cars. It took him 16 laps to get through the next 16. Car a lap after that, on average. Inside and Donnelly for 2nd place. Patterson clear off turn 2. Race leader is George Myers. Maybe Patterson can start a new streak in this race. And try to intimidate Myers and get around him quickly. Not really intimidating him so far. Oh, well, he did that time. Patterson overdrove the corner, though. Gained quite a bit in turn 3. It's getting really tight in turn 1. 2nd lap in a row, he's brushed the wall off the exit of turn 1. Yeah, they don't have Pocono in this game. It's probably the closest track to it. These two have not raced each other very clean this year. I will say that. As they battle for the lead at another racetrack. And you just got to drive to the inside off turn 3. It's going to get squeezed, though, into turn 1. Pinched off enough that Myers is able to hold on to the lead. Dive into turn 2, though. Patterson to the bottom into 3, and he'll lead his first lap of the entire night, not just in this race. That'll be 5 bonus points for Patterson, the points leader. Myers overdrives turn 1. Got really tight. He's in danger of losing 2nd. Going to give a little bit more separation now for Patterson. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the second race of our doubleheader. Still no crashes. We've seen at least one crash in every race this season. Just going to have to kind of keep an eye on the track map, as well as just trying to hit his marks. And keep an eye on it, just staying focused and hitting his marks and holding the line he needs to be the fastest around this racetrack. I don't know if Myers has anything for Joey Patterson unless lap traffic becomes a factor by the end of this race. It may not, with it only being 100 laps. I feel like I'm watching a time lapse. The lap times are just over 16 seconds a lap. So it's not quite Cup Series Bristol speeds for half mile, but considering the shape of the track, this is about as close as you can get to just actually hauling the mail, especially if the modifieds have a faster mid-corner speed. It's wide open all the way through turn 2, and it's hitting about 128 miles an hour there, top speed. I feel like these tracks are what can make you super dizzy, especially at a full race like this, especially when it goes caution-free. Accidentally spamming through the camera angles. Joey Patterson trying to get his 5th win of the young season. Young but quickly passing by season. We got our first driver out of the race who has blown an engine. He will get to the pit road. No wreck, thankfully. Actually, he's not even up in smoke. It looks like he may have cracked the wall and had some damage or some sparks coming out from underneath the race car. I don't see anybody else with an issue as of right now, though. We have our first driver out of the race. Almost halfway home through race 2. Yeah, tracks like this in Bristol, for sure, I feel like it can definitely mess with your rhythm in your brain. I feel like Dover's the same way, too, just with how quick you fly at that track, too. Lap 50 that time by not Huckabee, but George Myers still holding on to second place, by the way. For all it's worth. Maybe a walk in the park as long as Patterson really doesn't catch lap traffic. I still don't know that he will. 49 laps to go this time by. The lead has stayed at about 9/10 of a second for a little while, though, and I wonder if maybe the long run speeds might... Oh, we got a crash on the front stretch. We got 3 cars on the inside of the racetrack. Into turn 1. It's going to slow the leaders up behind Patterson. Patterson gets by cleanly to the outside, and hopefully they make it into turn 2 all right. Oh, man, there's more cars piled up, and I think we got a crash potentially off the exit in turn 2. No, we do not. Everybody's going to get... Oh, no, now we definitely have a crash. Saw some contact. Cars were stacking up. Patterson gets by everybody to the outside. We got somebody else on the blown engine a lap after the first one. I said we've seen at least one wreck in every race this season. We saw 2 in back-to-back laps. That guy's still moseying around the racetrack off the exit of turn 1 as the field races by. Gonna have to watch out. Into turn 2, a bunch of cars slow on the bottom. Patterson runs into the back of somebody. That was Howie Black in the 86 car. Very significant contact. Well, the lead is back down to 2.3 seconds after that mistake from Patterson. Now we got 3 drivers out of the race. Well, that's how quickly they can go from a walk in the park to not so much. What is going on? Every twisted turn, something's happening in these modified races this season. They've been entertaining, though. Somebody said that in the chat last night. He's like, these races are super entertaining, and they have been this year. Even with the dominance from Patterson, none of them have been easy by any means. Even Old Spice Speedway, where we had a margin of victory of about 6 seconds, we had to miss that wreck with about 20 to go. One car got turned in front of another when we were in lap traffic. We barely missed hitting the wall and, well, getting squeezed into the wall, really, in a T-bone fashion, that car turning across the racetrack. Patterson's going to have to get by Howie Black pretty quickly. He's on the inside of Black into turn 1. He got a little tight, though. Couldn't hold that kind of an arc into the corner, and he'll have to try to go after Black again as we have 39 laps to go this time by. And Howie Black is definitely holding Patterson up. The lead from 2.3 seconds is down to 2 seconds even into turn 1. Black chops the nose off of Patterson. Patterson overdrives turn 2 just a bit as well. That's going to cost him just a tad bit of time. Down to the bottom at the start-finish line. He's underneath Black into turn 1, side by side. Still side by side into turn 2. Patterson clear. It'll hold clear into 3. It's like Howie Black overdrove the corner. Yeah, Bristol's a much faster track than Martinsville, too. So that would definitely make sense. This race is flying by, but now I feel like the race has taken forever since we hit halfway just with those incidents happening, and now the lead has shrunk back down to 2 seconds because of it. And it's not really growing again either. Just concerning, because I don't think Patterson's got as good a long run speed as what he did when he came through the field in the first half of the race. Starting at the back with no practice or qualifying. And you think this race is crazy? We got another race here that's an extra 50 laps, and we've had 3 DNFs in the first 67 up to this point. How many more are we going to get when we come here later in the season? Can alternate through the different camera angles one more time in today's race. The next 8 laps. This will take us to under 30 to go. Definitely more lap traffic that could be caught. Gotta say, though, this is one of the more fun ovals of the fantasy tracks on this game. I think this and Dodge Raceway are my 2 favorites of the ovals. Dodge Raceway I'd like a little bit more because it's more traditional, but I like that they thought outside the box with this one too. And Junior McMillan's the next lap car right in front of Patterson. Patterson's throwing the lead out to about 3 seconds again. I feel like he's lapped a lot of cars, mainly because of the carnage that we ended up seeing. As he drives to the inside of McMillan. And cleared McMillan with a clean pass. Took him 2 corners to work his way around. He cleared him on entry into turn 3. Oh, overdrove turn 2 a bit. And we'll go back to the far chase cam now. 25 laps to go. Levi Strauss Signature Speedway. Don't go anywhere. This thing is not locked up yet. We've seen 2 crashes already in this race. Patterson's tried to avoid and stretched his lead out, then it shrunk it back down to 2 seconds again. Yeah, USA is going to have NASCAR races next year whenever they're not on the main NBC network, when it's on the NBC portion of the schedule. It means NBC Sports is not going to be a channel once 2022 comes around. Still 2 more lap cars in the vicinity that Patterson will catch. Got about 3.7 second lead at the start-finish line that time. 21 laps to go. Bruce Kennedy is the next driver. Looks like Patterson has just clinched the most laps led. Inside into turn 3. Underneath Kennedy, but he overdrives the corner. Costing himself. Inside Kennedy now off the exit of turn 1. Stays low. Oh no, he didn't have it cleared. He just put Kennedy in the wall. He thought he had enough room to squeeze in between the two, and that did not work out at all. And the lead goes from 4 seconds down to 3.1 again. That caused a lot more smoke than what I thought it would. I thought Kennedy was still behind us. I mean, he may be, but there's a lot more car lengths in between us now. That was all Patterson's fault there. NASCAR Mobile, not NASCAR Live. Gotcha. Forgot you said it was an app. I mean, I guess they do have that for, like, NFL games, too, that you can get, like, Sunday Ticket for your phone, like, on an app as well. Or any other sports network. Or sport in general, not the network itself. LOB TV. Kelly Walker in the 132 car is the next driver, just up ahead of Joey Patterson. Patterson's not even going to attempt to pass him. He's got a 3.7 second lead again. 10 laps to go this time by. Even if he's a little slow running behind him, I doubt that second place is going to be able to catch up, even if there's no traffic ahead of second. I just don't see it happening. Joshua Rumsey, welcome to the stream. Oh, wasn't even trying to pass him, but he still got underneath him. A little bit of contact anyway. 9 to go. I guess he will get by Kennedy. He wasn't planning on it. Kelly Walker, rather. Patterson came up a close second in race 1 at Martinsville. He's got a 3.5-second lead, just under that now with 8 laps to go in race 2. Said to survive 2 wrecks. Just keeping his eyes peeled in case we see another one. Bigger stack-ups with him, too. Car behind him overdrove turn 2 and almost put himself in the wall. A lapper. Kelly Walker. 6 to go. Joey Patterson looking for win number 5. Potentially the start of another streak. Races 9 and 10 will be in a live stream on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time once again. Tomorrow night we'll have a doubleheader with the NASCAR 21 Edition Career Mode. Both premieres starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the Pocono doubleheader race 1. Pocono doubleheader race 2 will be at the bottom of that hour at 7:30. 2 separate premieres. But I will be in the chat for both. And we'll try to have fun with it. I say that because I did not have as much fun with it in the recording process, both yesterday and today. It had potential. Two to go at the line. Oh, we got another wreck on the front stretch. I believe the lead is now up to about 8.5 seconds all of a sudden. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Oh, they're stacking up in turn 1. We got a big crash. One car's in the inside wall, it looks like, running up the racetrack. My goodness, what's going on here? Everybody's just trying to get to the checkered flag. Leads down to about 4.5 seconds roughly. 4 seconds at the line. Checkered flag. Joey Patterson wins. There's a crash on the last lap in turns 1 and 2, but he's going to survive to win again. That was the strangest finish I think we've ever seen in the channel. The big one on the final lap. At least we had a big lead. You can tell the leaders caught it that were behind us, but then we caught it on the final lap. They caught it with 2 to go. We caught it on the final lap, and that's why the lead was up to 8.5 seconds, and then it shrunk right back down to 4 seconds when we caught up to it. And that goes to show it's never over till the final lap. Oh my goodness. 3 wrecks in that one. I think that's the most we've had in a single race this season. We had 1 or 2 in each race, and then we had 3 in probably the shortest race of the season. 27 minutes total time on this one. Only 5 drivers finished on the lead lap due to all the carnage we saw in this one with some big accidents. Nobody flipped in this entire stream in the first race or the second race, but we saw some big pile-up countage in 2 of the 3 wrecks in this race alone. Again, Joey Patterson with the win. It is a max points day as he led 66 of the 100 laps. 2 lead changes in the race as well. Wade Davis finishes second. Paul Donnelly, who qualified on the pole, led 24 laps to start the race, finishes third. George Myers led 10 laps, finishes fourth. Elmer Cadwell rounds out the top 5. Bill Calhoun 6th. Richie Reed 7th. Kelly Walker 8th. George Dennis Knight. Junior McMillan rounds out the top 10. Bruce Kennedy finished 2 laps down. We had 3 drivers DNF, and I'm thinking Kennedy might have been that driver that was up in smoke on the final lap. trying to nurse it to the finish. It looked like he was able to finish, but just 2 laps down. Never over until the checkered flag comes out, especially when there's no cautions on the final lap in this game. And no cautions at all in the modified series, as you saw on full display tonight. We'll check the point standings before we get out of here. Next 2 races will be on a couple of half-mile short tracks once again. First one will be at the Indianapolis Raceway Park under the lights for the Cardinal 150. It'll be a 150 lapper there. And then that will be the first and only trip to Indianapolis Raceway Park as well. Race 2 will be back at the Dodge Raceway where we started the season off. Again, that will be Thursday night. Dodge Raceway will also be 150 laps, just like earlier this season on our second trip there. And we'll take a look at that point standings going into races 9 and 10. Halfway through the season. And now 5 straight races that our driver Joey Patterson has led in points. So he was able to add to it in both races. 225-point lead. Now Danny Ross will slide back to 3rd place. He did not finish in the top 10 in the second race tonight. George Dennis had a pretty solid night, though, to move up to 2nd in the point standings. Elmer Cadwell moves up a couple spots from 6th to 4th tonight with 2 good races, 2 top 5s. Both Martinsville and Levi Strauss Signature Speedway. Junior McMillan in the top 5 now. Travis Foster 6th. George Myers 7th. All the way down to Lou Stanton. 29 drivers have made a start. Still waiting on what's his face? Browning. Still waiting on Browning to make a start. He hasn't made a start yet. All right, well, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Again, I will not be live tomorrow night, but I will be live again on Thursday with more modified series action. Another doubleheader coming your way there. Same start time as usual for the modified, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday night. That'll be the last live stream until Sunday, I believe. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, got some stuff going on. I will not be live streaming, but I will have premieres later both those nights. I believe 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Christmas Eve, and then 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Christmas Day. There will be 2 premieres of NASCAR 21 Ignition there. And that should be it. I'll see you guys in the chat tomorrow at 7 and then 7:30. Again, Pocono doubleheader, 2 premieres tomorrow on the channel. Catch you then.